Hello, and welcome to the third episode of Blackwood, City of Four Guilds. I am your host and dungeon master, Derek Mayfield, or DMDM. You may know me on Twitter as Exosus Machina. With me, I have my wonderful wife, my great friend Cece, and of course, we have our great friend Jonathan as well. We'll just go ahead and go down the list. Cece, you want to kick us off with any shout-outs, anything you want to promote?
Oh yeah, hey, well I'm CC, who you can find at CC on Twitter, or from my itch page that you can reach through the dmpcisdead.com. Not much going on at the moment. I'm working on a spooky 5e supplement for the season called A Critique on Necromancy. It is a delve into the nefarious scalmancy, a profane take on necromancy that doesn't quite care about so much focus on the humanoid corpse. There's death everywhere, and the scalmancer intends to use it.
Awesome. Awesome. That sounds sick. I can't wait for it to come out. Take a quick moment to promote the interview you did with Double DM podcast. That was wonderful. I didn't get to finish it on Monday. I was supposed to finish it today, but I didn't make it to the gym, so didn't have any time to do that. But I am looking forward to doing so tomorrow. It was excellent.
That was on a fireside chat with Gamer Mom Luna on Sunday, and I believe she's putting that up on her YouTube. So go find her on Twitter, and then you can find links to that.
You cut out at the beginning. Would you say that a little bit clearer, please?
Gamer Mom Luna. I did her fireside chat, 6 DMs talking about whatever people ask them in chat. She's got that up on her YouTube. You can find her through at Gamer Mom Luna.
Awesome. Awesome, making waves in the scene. That is awesome, CC. Love to hear it. Okay, Jonathan, is there anything that you want to shout out? Anything that you want to promote?
Not really. I do have a website. I can put it in the Twitch stream because it's kind of long to say out loud. So it's in the stream chat, and it's just got some. It's kind of like a working actor's website that. Some stuff that I've been in, and it's got my social in there too. So
sweet.
Social media and a social security number, because I don't do that online.
Yeah. I certainly hope so. Awesome, cool. All right, and Natalie, is there anything that you want to shout out?
Just here to have fun.
Okay. Figure I'll always ask, just to give you the chance. Okay, then without further ado, I will start us off with what happened last time, and you guys can take it from there. So last time you guys went to basically do all the things that we talked about doing at the like midway point / end of the first session. So the gifts that Sticks and Stones bought for... I just realized my light is off. The Sticks and Stones bought gifts for several of the people around town, and we made sure that those were delivered. Summertime Sadness also did some investigation into the actual goings-on of the city and what might be of interest in Castle Van Draen in considering Baron Ariok von Sray. We learned a couple of things, namely that he doesn't really leave the castle too much. His husband is a world-renowned tailor working for the Empress to the north, and also that there have been some... I'm just going to pull it up just so that I make sure that we don't forget anything. Right here. And the Baron has been having frequent meetings with Mercedes Lettefer, the master of the Merchants Guild. It is rumored that one of the Merchants Guild's agents had gone rogue, but what that meant at that time was a bit unclear. So, that was where we started off. You guys want to take us from there?
Well, after a morning of... Well, after a morning of hangovers, we had reason to soon find ourselves with another. We had a grand competition of bar games together, as is tradition when they name itinerant heroes. When it was a drinking game, we had a shooting game, and we had a trivia game, all while getting plastered on the good snake stuff.
Oh yeah.
Things started off pretty bad for me, because I got plastered, and my poor little scrawny cat arms were crippled by the competition, with Baratheon emerging the victor of that. And let me tell you, I tried to have a hand in that. I was a little naughty boy using my bard abilities to gain an edge.
Yes, you did. Some underhanded skullduggery.
But as we have it, you cannot cheat your way to victory. After that, it came to a shooting competition, and I, being the only dex-based character, had the upper hand on that. Plastered as I may be, I rolled to success there and got on the board. And in the final round, where they would have tested the abilities of our third and final party member, our intelligent wizardly sorcerer, I eked out a win from sheer chance. It was a trivia game, and I had heard the answer somewhere at some point in my life.
Yeah.
And with that, I secured the victory, got the reward, and drank myself to an early grave.
Indeed. And what was the reward?
Potion of haste.
Potion of
I'll be
haste.
fine.
All right. What happened after that, Soren?
Well, apparently I couldn't really hold my liquor, and I had to go outside and relieve myself. And on my way back to the bar, somebody decided to come out of the shadows, which are my element, and he tried to knock me upside the head, but fortunately my protections proved to be too much for him, and I decided, you know what, why not chase after the guy? And he happened to fall off of a tower in the city, and
These things happen.
and the guard had never seen a being such as this before, but they handled the crime scene cleanup, and I went back to the bar to drink with my fellows after telling them that somebody's out to kill us. Dun, dun, dun.
All right. And Baratheon, why don't you finish us off with the rest?
So, for reasons I kind of forgot, we ended up in a dungeon.
It was while you were on the, it was the Ritual of the Lost. It was the, last part of the thing that you guys were doing.
Continuing with our mission, we ended up in a dungeon and fought a couple of spooky things. I think I recall Sticks and Stones took some bad hits, but we were able to heal him up right before we encountered some doppelgangers who had stolen our faces, which was not cool. No one can look as good as Baratheon except Baratheon. But we ended up beating them.
And then what?
I'm blanking on the rest, unfortunately. You know, I have a crappy memory.
Okay, and then finally we rounded it off with the players completing the Ritual of the Lost, the characters completing the Ritual of the Lost by selecting the right chalice to drink from. And they did so. They had a nice little nap, and when they woke up they found that it had awakened something in them and made them a good deal stronger. Not only did it give them they leveled up, effectively this chalice, narratively speaking, unlocking the potential within themselves, but it also gave them a +1 to an ability score of their choosing. So if we haven't applied that now, guys, let's make sure that we do so before we move forward. But Yeah, is there any questions that you guys have from the last couple sessions before we get into it?
I seem pretty up to date.
Me as
think I'm
well.
good.
All right. Then, without further ado, we open our episode in the courtyards of Castle Van Dran. Baron Ariok von Srey stands upon a platform with our three heroes' itinerants standing behind him. The brooches that they were given have now been completed. The lower piece has been sunk into it, and clasped, it is now a full-fledged badge. As Baron Ariok is placing in one of each of your badges, a small gemstone into the socket, you can feel it start to slightly hum with energy, like an engine being turned on before it like kind of peters out, and it just becomes like you forget that you can even hear it. The slight smell of ozone clouds your nostrils when he places the gem into the socket, but he is giving you a token thank you for being the hero's itinerant and your badge of office for the next 10 years. Baratheon, you have the ability once per long rest. I would probably write these down, guys. Once per long rest, you can restore half of your lay on hands pool as a bonus action.
Awesome.
Soren, you can restore half of your sorcery points pool as a bonus action once per long rest. And Sticks and Stones, you can restore half of your bardic inspiration pool as a bonus action once per long rest. All right, so Baron Ariok von Srey completes his speech, talking about what it means to be the heroes of Blacklight and how much the people will appreciate your service in the coming 10 years, taking on the jobs that no one else can really be bothered to do, and also serving as like the agents of the wellness of the city in that regard. And yeah, he concludes his not too lengthy speech. And with a round of applause, flowers are flown into the air, trumpets are blasted, and everybody begins to cheer, and the tables are brought out for the feasts. They begin serving plenty of food and drink. Everyone is merry and has a wonderful time. Is there anything that you guys wanted to do specifically during the feast? Is there anybody that you wanted to talk to, anything like that?
We need to talk to someone about what we saw.
Everybody talked at once, so it was kind of hard to hear. Whoever wants to go first.
We need to talk to someone about what we saw. The question is who?
I think Soren had something he wanted to say as well.
Oh, mine was just gonna be fooling for a little bit, but no, that makes a lot of sense. We should go find maybe the Red Horns and let them know about the breach and security of the city. Perhaps even the Baron.
Okay, and the Baratheon, I think you said you had something you wanted to say as well. Just giving everybody the opportunity.
I didn't have anything.
Okay, so then what do you guys want to do?
I think we are being vain to say that this is a threat against the city. It's a threat against us. We are being targeted for some reason. The streets, for all reason to believe, are safe. It is we that are not safe. In that case, any ally could serve us. It not need be the town guard. They may have been in on it, for all we know.
Did we find any clues on the doppelgangers?
You did find a note that said, the essentially what it said was kill you guys and then come back and they will have earned their way into their into the it didn't say specifically what, into something. They will have earned their way into something.
Did we have? I'm sorry, I don't remember. Did we happen to investigate the note to see if there was like any hidden messages, like maybe an invisible message on the paper or something?
I believe you did, and it turned up nothing.
Okay, just want to make sure we exhausted all of our current leads.
Yeah, no problem.
Did anybody recognize the dialect of the writing?
Any of you three?
Like anybody that did we ask? Because I think we were talking about going to the colleges and seeing if anybody could recognize the language and maybe the culture.
We haven't shared our stuff with anyone yet. It's a secret between us at the moment.
Yeah, we haven't done anything yet. You're right. I think we did talk about it, but we haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm. Is that where maybe that's where we want to rest our first allegiances? You know, a secret society under the city, scuttling through the streets, is not something you think can happen unless they've got a couple ears in the guard. Having someone on the inside could be a problem when you're dealing with a secret society, so I don't think we should immediately go to the town guard. I think the sort of hands-off-ish people, those that would not go rushing around the streets in order to swell their ranks, are who we should trust. The gentler folk, the Garden District, the Arcane University.
Sounds like a good point.
When you have a very active enemy, you should go looking for allies who are sedentary.
Opposites do attract.
The Arcane College is someone who could transcribe this strange language. Should we consider them our first approach?
That's where I would go.
Well then, let us hope the Archmagister liked my gift. And he just, he does a little prayer, thank God to chance, the only guild that I got a present for is the one we're going to.
Awesome.
And alright, yep, I will approach a significant member of the Arcane College in the fanfare of the party.
Yeah, absolutely. They would stick out. They would have like a long, elaborate gown trimmed with gold and probably some kind of either chitin or metal type of structure built into it to kind of give it a little bit more of an ostentatious appearance and more room for stitching to make it look a bit fancier. As you approach, you quickly recognize that this is Arya of Evelight, the Archmagistrate of the Arcane Colleges. She is sitting at a table, open with her feet out, her legs crossed, and her staff resting beside her. There are several magistrates around her, and they are all gripped by whatever story it is that she's telling. You guys can all give me an Arcana check to see if you get the joke as you approach.
Oh, that's right. Crap, I never fixed those rolls. Yeah, it goes over my head.
Completely sails over Baratheon's head with a natural one.
There you go. So, yeah, as you approach, all of the wizards and sorcerers around her begin laughing, and you can tell some of them are laughing just maybe a little bit too hard. And Jonathan, you understand, or Soren would understand, that basically she's making a joke about how the prismatic wall is that covers the entire city itself shouldn't practically work or exist. It might as well be powered by fairy dust with how much they know about it, and everybody laughs. Some people laugh a little bit too hard, but that is what you guys approach on.
Faith, dust, and pixie dust. That's how it works.
Is that what Soren says?
You have to make it look like I belong in this group.
Okay. So, I couldn't exactly hear the first part of what you said. I'm sorry.
Oh, I quoted Peter Pan. I said faith, trust, and pixie dust is what makes it work.
Some of the eyes turn to you, and then the rest like slowly turn because they were still watching Arya, and they turn to you as you approach. And she says, "Ah, now if it was faith, that's something that we could all understand. But truly, the machinations of the obelisk are something far beyond our own capability. How the unknown hero, the lost, made such a thing is truly beyond. Well, I'd wager to say just about anyone here, wouldn't you?"
Yes, this is all quite the marvel.
She says, well, at any rate, I'm sure we're all very happy to partake in the celebration of your group's success. And a couple of the wizards and sorcerers around begin clapping their hands. She says, tell me, what is it that you found most compelling within? I know you can't say exactly what it is, but what did you find within yourself? And she kind of looks to all three of you as she says that, and like her eyes kind of grow narrow. You can give me an insight check if you want. Everybody, all three of y'all.
Alright, cocked.
May I just trust my gut on this one?
Yeah, you don't have to roll if you don't want to.
15.
15s. Okay. Yeah, you can tell that when she says, what did you find in yourselves in there, she's essentially leading on that she knows a little bit of something about the things that you fought.
Well, I certainly discovered that I am far more handsome than I had ever imagined. You see yourself in a mirror and it is one thing. The full scope of it is quite the other.
She kind of laughs at that and says, yes, I've heard that there are certain out-of-body experiences that one might partake towards the end of it. Isn't that right? And she kind of, like, nods her head in agreement to all of the sycophants surrounding her, who nod in agreement as well. She says, well, I must freshen up my drink. Would anybody else need anything? And a couple of the people offer to get her drink. She says, no, really, I don't mind. I'd like to do it myself. She gets up, gathered her staff, and kind of, ever so subtly with her head, gestures for you three to follow her towards a drink line.
Alrighty then. Let's isolate ourselves from her gaggle of sycophants and talk to her candidly.
So you approach the line, and you can see her make a couple hand signs at the end of it, and a slight static taste lingers in the back of your throat, and you realize that you're all in a zone of silence, focused in a way that keeps the sound inside from coming outside. So I'm certain that there's something you want to talk to me about.
I should first compliment you on your social grace. Indeed. We saw strange things within the temple. Ones that were beyond what was projected to us. And something that we saw earlier in the streets. in much less a holy occasion.
She nods and says, "Yes, well, we are called magistrates in this city for a good reason. One does not simply get to the position of archmagistrate by being a good magician. As for the matter of what you encountered in the streets and in the shrine, tell me, Baratheon, you've been awful quiet. What do you make of it?"
Someone seems intent on taking us out, it would appear.
And to what end?
They wanted to replace us. They wanted to have
Whatever.
a
influence
popular. Yes, yes. They wanted to have a popular puppet.
Is that what Soren said? I didn't hear him.
Yeah, whatever influence we might be able to attain, they want for their own ends, but without us in the picture.
She nods her head in agreement. That would certainly stand to reason. But again, I ask, to what end? Why would they need such a thing?
They want to do something that they can't do through normal political channels. They need something to be subverted by a popular hero.
What do you know of changelings, doppelgangers?
This be an Arcana check, or
Sure, if you want to.
I have stories from my land
yes?
that when you pretend to be something for so long, you create some projection of yourself that evildoers can take and wear. So you must not be dishonest with yourself, or you will become a puppet for someone else.
She says,
Changelings are the creatures that steal your skin.
that's certainly one way. I am familiar with what you speak. There is, however, another way to create them altogether. In fact, it makes them a little bit more than what they might normally be. There is a process through arcane means to transmute a person into a doppelganger. If one were to do so, they would find that the doppelganger they created would be stronger, faster, more resilient, more intelligent. One would even find that their very skin might be a bit harder to pierce without silver, at the very least. Indeed, one would also find that doing such would create one with a mind all of its own. I believe that the sins of 2 decades past have come to catch up with Blackwood. You should speak to Mercedes Letefers.
Marchez Letefers. Which district does she report to?
He is...
That was the Merchant Guild.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And what might he know about such things?
She kind of stares off into the distance for a moment before realizing that the line has moved, and you all kind of like step forward, and she says, well, let us simply say that when you make a monster without a leash, you can't be too surprised when it turns back around to bite you.
crazy magic that creates a perfect version of you. Only so many times the perfect version of you hates you.
It was once a man. No longer. Now it is only a vessel for its own hate. I'm sure whatever machinations it has sown over these past 2 decades have violent ends.
Thank you for this. We do have a note. Do you believe that your people will be able to translate it?
She says, "Give it here," and puts her hand out.
Yeah, I slip it to her.
She unfolds it and just takes one look over it, and she basically explains that in her brilliant mind, because she is incredibly smart, she is a wizard, she believes that this was some sort of initiation into some kind of assassination brotherhood or echelon, for lack of a better word. That killing you was their final initiation until they would have a complete union.
Mm-hmm. Mm. So the precise words confirm our suspicion. Thank you.
She nods. Is there anything else I can do for you folk?
I do hope that you can arrange to give us a proper tour of your college at some time. We have not made the full rounds yet.
She says, "Certainly, it would be my pleasure. Oh, and I must thank you again for your kind gift. I certainly do appreciate it. It sits above my mantle in my office."
It is, of course, my pleasure. We shall be off. There are so many with whom to mingle.
Enjoy your feast.
All right. I'll depart the line, obviously, after having gotten the drink, and then be off.
Okay.
To find Laterre. Is that who we want to talk to next?
Mercedes Letifaire, but I wanted to make sure that everybody else had a chance to ask her everything they wanted to.
No, I think all my questions would be better answered by the merchant guildmaster.
Okay. Baratheon?
I don't think she has anything else that we need to find out about.
Okay, so you find Mercedes Letifaire in a more secluded spot. While he is quite the powerful individual, he is also powerful enough to have his guards keep away people when he doesn't really feel like being bothered. You can see him talking to an older elf whose long white hair is starting to go a bit wispy, and after they exchange a couple of words, he gets up and leaves. Mercedes says to his guards as you approach, "Let him through," and they escort you over to the table at which he is sitting. He says, "So, I guess you're finally here about that job, huh?"
Well, I do believe that business is on our mind.
You haven't even been the hero's itinerant for 3 hours and you're already getting to work? Man, this town is going to be great by the time you guys are done with it.
Making gears move is so important. Tell us some of it.
Well, he looks to the guards around him. Take a walk, boys. And the guards walk away. He says, so, here's the problem. About two decades ago, I had this merchant. He promised he could make a dangerous run out to Skara. Said that didn't matter what bandits or fell beasts came their way, he had a ringer, something that would keep anybody from taking what they had in that caravan. Well, he was wrong. This ringer was a bandit. Set up and ambushed the whole thing, took all the loot, and we were out 20,000 gold.
Hmm. The ringer was a stinger then, huh? It's quite a shame. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Can't rightly remember what the fool's name was, but he was bad at picking people. Anyway, we thought he left after we made an example of him. I don't think he's left anymore. I think he's been here this whole time, plotting and scheming his revenge for his mistake. He finds us, well, let's just say we have a couple of scholars to thank for the fact that we can't just take this guy down with normal weapons. I have reason to believe that he's been using a house in the Gold District all this time as his hideout. I want you guys to go there, find out what it is that he might be up to, bring back any information that you can, and let me know.
You can't take him down with normal weapons, eh? That is intriguing. I have heard of such creatures that are resistant in that manner before.
Aye.
They are taken down by Silver, correct?
Yes. Silver would do it.
But they are not.
And,
What's up?
I presume magic would also
Yes.
do the trick.
Yes, they are only resistant to the machinations of man. No arcane force should have trouble penetrating their hide.
You said something curious, though. I don't believe I know this particular region joke. In my place, we do not normally blame the studious for these things. Is it a regional joke I do not understand? Why did you say you have the college to thank for this?
Who do you think made him into what he is now? He looks across the feast, and you can follow his eyes to, like, right on Arya.
Oh, isn't that funny? Thank you, thank you. I always appreciate it when someone helps me understand the joke. And there's just the tiniest moment where, in his nonchalant, he's like, oh, shit, this is complex.
Yeah, Mercedes is not saying anything. He eyes Arya for a good, like, 15 seconds, and then, like, looks away.
Mm-hmm. Picking up what he's putting down. Haha. Yes, that is a most funny joke. Remember it.
He kind of chuckles to himself and says, "You know why they call them magistrates in this city?
I do not.
Because they're politicians, just like every other guild head."
Indeed, indeed. And I do believe that. Dare to presume your friend's current location in the Gold District might have something to do with the politicians there.
He, give me a persuasion check, actually.
I'll basically give the straight question here. Alright, sure, you want us to plink a guy that, fucked you over. But, you know, is there a political angle here? Just be honest with me. Rolling, oh, not a good one, 13.
That's not bad. I'd say that's enough. He, reluctantly kind of says, They tell me, and mind you, I am a lowborn. They tell me that even murder is political. That violence is just another form of politics. But when you have an agent of chaos, a free radical, working to suit his own ends, and that ends being only vengeance, he kind of shrugs. Well, I can't suppose that there's anything more political than that. He comes for me, and then he'll come for her.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your honest review of the situation. We shall see that this individual serves no chaotic.
He nods his head and says, and you will be rewarded thusly.
Just in case we happen upon him, where might we be able to procure silvered weapons?
He says, well, you did receive 100 gold, didn't you? That would net you one of them. If you need an advance, I suppose I could give you enough for another. When the job is done, then we will complete our contract and you will receive the rest of your payment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, not. Thank you. We will take that under the consideration and see to any bartering as necessary. We will investigate this individual for you.
He nods. Come by the Merchant's Guild tomorrow morning. Speak to my man Drang. He will give you a dossier with everything that we have on him. It will also have a map to where the house is located.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll nod. You guys got anything else for him?
I think so.
No, I think I'm good on for now.
Okay. Alright, I mean, he would stay there. He's been at the table. I guess he would expect you guys to leave.
Mm-hmm. We'll make our departure.
Okay. Is there anything else that you guys want to do at the feast held in your honor?
Just because of all the secrecy going on, I'll cover. Like, I'll put up a goblet to my mouth, but I'll actually point to my friends and I'll cast message to both of them. And I know I have to do this separate ways, but I'll just say, interesting how the magistrates seem to be pointing fingers at each other for a celebration of citywide unity.
Let me assure you that as long as they merely point fingers at each other and tut-tut pensively behind glasses of wine, this likely counts for unity.
Yes, but we're the ones in front of the wine.
Mhm. You should expect this of the aristocracy of any city. No matter how beautiful or wretched.
Before we leave, I do a perception check to see if there's any, like, people checking us out, or just any suspicious people that look like they might be up to no good.
Sure.
That's 14 total.
You would notice that all the guards that are like standing around seem to get a little bit more lax whenever you and your friends come around Baratheon. You would also notice that like the plate mail guards, like the actual castle guards themselves, are on like high alert though. Though they're not standing down in the actual like feast area. They are like standing on the walls. They're still on patrol and stuff. But that's pretty much all that you can really tell.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I don't want to skip over the feast if nobody else, if anybody else has anything that they wanted to do at it. But if not, then we can, I assume, fast forward through you guys resting for the evening, eating a hearty breakfast, and taking the dossier from Drang in the Merchants Guild the next morning.
I believe so.
And just in case, I would be interested in purchasing a silver dagger.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what do you seek out somebody in the Artisans Grove, or I mean, you're already at the Merchants Guild. They have to have a license to trade arms and armor, and that can only be done at the actual guild itself. So, you just want to go find a merchant dealer, or excuse me, an arms dealer.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you search around, and quite quickly you see that you have your pick of the litter. I assume that you would probably just approach the closest shop, and in it you find a man and woman restocking their shelves, having completed a pretty decent spring cleaning, and you notice that it's the same man and wife that you guys talked to the last time they were here.
Good morning.
Good morning. How can I help you?
I was hoping you might have a dagger made of silver.
Ah, certainly. A ceremonial dagger, then.
That would be able to be used in a fight if need be.
I've got just the thing, actually. Hold up right there. I've got a few that you can choose from. He takes out a small chest and unclasps it, opens it up, and you can see that indeed he does have a few different daggers for you to choose from. All of them are the same price. It would be the price of a dagger, which I believe is 10 gold. Is that right? A dagger is 2 gold, so it would be 102 gold.
Okay, I'll... tempted to haggle, but...
You can certainly try.
No, I'll do it. Because as a merchant myself, in a sense, I appreciate the hard work they went through, so I'll give them the 102.
All right. You spend 102 gold, and you have your pick of the daggers. What dagger do you go with? What does it look like?
I do kind of like the idea of something that could be used ceremoniously, so it might have some kind of like curving, like an athame, but it has the right balance that I could stab somebody if I needed to.
Awesome.
And
yeah.
So style and function.
Yeah. Yeah, he gives you a jewel-encrusted sheath to go along with it and says, treat that right and it'll last you your whole life. Even a half-elf, such as yourself.
Well, I don't intend on dying anytime soon.
Well, thank you, hero. We certainly do appreciate your service.
Well, thank you. And we come through this, we'll be back.
Hope to see you then.
Yes.
Does anybody else want to spend...
And then...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, yeah, just thank them and I back away.
Did anybody else want to spend any of their 100 gold to get silvered weapons or anything?
How much would some holy water cost?
They wouldn't have that. That would be at the temple, but I can... It is 25 gold pieces for a flask of holy water. you spend 50 gold, and you have 2 holy water flasks.
That's all I want to do.
Okay.
Are you sure you don't want a silvered weapon, seeing that you primarily do weapon damage?
I'm hoping my smites will carry me through.
That'll do it.
Yeah, you got smites this level.
Oh, I did remember something I wanted to do before, like last night maybe.
Okay.
I had picked up some spines in the Shrine of the Lost Hero that had some green and black stuff on it. I wanted to do, never mind, this character doesn't have Identify, so, but if I could maybe try to figure out what the stuff is.
Sure. Yeah, you can do an Arcana check.
Trap room. 16.
Yeah, so you would have recognized it as neurotoxin. It would have paralyzed you for a minute, and you can do a... let's see if you can do a dexterity or intelligence check, your choice, to extract enough from the spines to get 1 dose.
I'll try dexterity. Wait, oh, yeah, check. 8.
Unfortunately, it's just too dried and old. Maybe if it was like fresh when it shot out of the hole in the wall, but it's been sitting there for a very long time. Whatever reserves of poison that they use are somehow not empty yet, but you imagine that they're running low.
Okay, well. Worth of knowledge, but then I'm caught up.
All right. Okay, guys, so is there anything else, or do we want to go ahead and take our break now and then go into the house?
Yeah, I'm definitely up for a break.
All right.
Down for a break. Can we use the bathroom?
Yeah, I need to use the bathroom as well. Okay, let's try to be back in about 5 or so minutes if we can. If it's a couple minutes longer, that's no big deal. But yeah, we'll be back. Stay tuned, guys. We will be right back, and we will get into it.
Alright.
Oh.
Woohoo. I am.
Yes.
I'm back.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Glad to see y'all are still hanging out with us in chat. Thanks so much for sticking around, Joy Brother. We sure do appreciate it. All right, let me go ahead and get this fixed for us, and we are ready to go. Our itinerant heroes arrive to the outskirts of a large abandoned house, 2 stories in the city of Blackwood. Property is known to be a commodity, so to have an abandoned house, especially one as large and ostentatious as this, and to have sat for so long, seems to be quite a dismal affair indeed. We see the I guess it doesn't really matter in which order we see them, but all of you make your way up to the front door, and it is unlocked for you. It kind of like sits off of its hinges. You can make your way inside, and yeah, I think we'll kind of go how we did. We'll go how we did it last time. I'm going to make a slight modification to how I say it so that it's a little bit more clear, because it's totally on me. It's totally my fault for saying it in such a dumb way last time. You can interact with something in the room that you're in effectively each turn. So you're not limited to your movement necessarily unless it takes you to another room, in which case it might be that going to another room is your action for that round. So if you guys want to go ahead and roll initiative, we can go ahead and see who goes first.
Woo-woo.
About the previous owner?
I'm sorry?
Do we know anything about the previous owner of the house?
The dossier says that this once belonged to a family that had associations with the Merchants Guild. They owned a winery that was outside of town, and they also made some of their own wine here in the house. It was associated with the names, or excuse me, the names were associated with the instance that the dossier refers to, in which the man was made into a doppelganger. That I'm sorry, I'm saying things in a very dumb way. The dossier would lead you to believe that the cargo that was being transported was the wine that this family produced.
Okay, before going in, I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself.
Got it.
Maybe. Yep.
No problem. Anybody else going to do any buffs before we get into the round?
I believe I'm good.
I don't think I have anything that I can do.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Uh, we just stepped inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just quickly do a divine sense to see if there are any.
Before we go, I was gonna... I have a little explanations of each of the rooms. I was just trying to get the order in which we went in first, sorry.
Okay, I rolled a 22, by the way.
Okay. The dilapidated... Sorry, go ahead.
I rolled an 11.
11, okay. And then, Jonathan, you got a 12?
Yes.
Alright. The dilapidated house has the bearing and structure of what was once certainly a great and noble manor. Time and neglect have made short work of all pretense of auspicion. There's a hole in the rubble, or excuse me, there's a hole in the ceiling right here. When you look up, there's shafts of light coming through about a 7.5 by about 8 feet hole in the ceiling. It's 25 feet up, and there is rubble all along the ground. And, yeah. So you said you wanted to use your divine sense first?
Yeah, I think that'll be my action this round. I don't see my character on the board.
You don't see your character on the board? I just moved you.
Oh, sorry, I had it scrolled on the other side. Okay.
Okay.
I'll just move forward towards the hallway. And, my divine sense works up to 60 feet, and I can...
But not beyond cover. You would know that before you waste it. It does not work beyond cover.
Okay. In that case, I will just do a perception check.
Go ahead.
10 total.
The house is old, and neglect has seen to it that it has fallen to a grand state of disrepair. The groanings and moanings of the frames and the wood straining against itself is a bit too much for you to be able to focus on any one thing.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to venture into the hallway just yet, so that'll conclude my turn.
Okay, Soren.
You said that there was sunlight coming through holes in the roof, so we don't really have to worry about darkness.
So it looks like the sunlight is coming from a window that might be on this side, like on the side of the door, shining at an angle down and into this hallway. You can actually see that the second floor is up, like, if you look directly up, you can see part of it, and then it looks like a little bit further into the room, if you stare from an angle, part of the ceiling collapsed in the second story as well.
Okay. I'll venture down the hallway. And then I'm gonna, just from the hallway, I want to look into this room. Like, open the door and...
That is what you see. The smell of moldy parchment assaults your nostrils before you can even open the door. Shelves lie scattered about the floor, whether through age or through intent is unclear. These bookcases seem to be undisturbed. These ones right here. But this is on the ground, and this is on the ground.
I think I can get in here, and then I just want to search that bookshelf, see if there's anything of note.
On that bookshelf, you find that all of the books are far too molded to have to like say anything that you could read at this point. But there is a small stone carving in it's like the size of your palm There's clearly a depiction of an elven family, a man, a wife, and 2 children, and the wife and the children are, excuse me, the husband has an X over it, and then the wife has a line over her neck, and then there's a circle around both of the kids' heads.
Well, this is creepy.
Looks
Apparently
just
somebody-
like one of my family portraits.
Bonus action, I'll convert 2 sorcery points into a spell slot.
Okay.
And I think that was my move and all that, so.
All right, sticks and stones.
I will follow on in my ally's wake, and oof, that is a scent. That is a scent indeed that has accosted my nostrils. Well, I'm gonna do what a bardic man do when he sees books, and I'm gonna thumb around for anything that seems salacious.
You can see that there's a cover depicting a what do you call it? I'm sorry, I'm blanking on it. A tabaxi maid and a spear sitting across it. But when you open the book, thinking that you'd find something promising, indeed it is too molded and weathered to make out any of what was once on the page.
Yep, this library has gone to shit, but it is very expansive. They are importing literature from my home country way to the south. This individual had connections. And then he let it all go to waste. Oh, that's what I've got.
Okay. So we go back to the top of the turn order then.
Okay. I guess I will join them in that room. Peer around the corner and see what's down this area.
You come to a
Does
wooden
it
door.
just end there?
That's a door.
Right. I'll go ahead and open the door then.
A large vine of grapes has entirely enveloped the northern wall in this room. A prep table is broken roughly into 2 pieces. Neglect has seen that the hearth lies crumpled.
Just do an investigation check and then end my turn.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
No.
Oof. Hey, that's alright. This is probably the time you want to get these rolls out.
Baratheon is a little bit distracted today, apparently.
The grapes are soured. It looks like the soil that they have been growing in has not been turned in far too long to produce any type of fruit that would actually be desirable, and that is what you're able to tell.
Alright, well, that's all. That's it for me.
Okay, Soren.
Oops. I am also curious about this room, so I will try and check as well, see if.
Yeah, you guys can always do the same checks, by the way. You just can't. The same player can't do the same check.
Right. Uh, 14 on investigation.
You can hear a chittering and scuttling sound coming from beyond this doorway.
think there's something else in that house over here, and I'll do a dancing light there to indicate what door I'm talking about.
Okay. I think there's a way I can do a light, but I'm not sure what it is, if I'm being honest. So you illuminate the door. Sticks and stones.
What do I do?
Remember, you're not limited to your actual movement.
Oh.
I catch
I'll
up
move my-
and get into the room. And what a perplexing sight it is to see grapes here. I start picking them. And then I start putting them into a little container that looks like a tiny little barrel. And then I seal that thing tight. Well, I smash the grapes a little bit and I seal it tight.
Yeah?
And then I look at my tiny little keg and I insult it. I viciously mock it. I berate it. I call them foul, pitiful grapes, strewn of fallow and useless soil.
They get a 12 on their saving throw.
That does not do it, but I do this because I finish with a little bit of a parable. Let you perish from this earth and reborn something greater. And this is a little fermenting ritual. I make myself a little bit. Yep, I make myself a little bit of wine by viciously mocking some grape.
And that, children, is how the grapes of wrath became a winery.
Yeah, absolutely. They successfully fail your saving throw, which means that your desired effect takes hold. We can see the keg light up with the symbol of your god as those snakes are coiling around it, and with like an arcane decompression sound, this. You know that in about 30 or so minutes, you will have a ready cask of wine.
Mm-hmm. And my goodness, using sour, fallow grapes is going to make something dry.
It's going to be the driest Pinot of all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess that takes us back to the top of the turn order.
I'm going to cautiously go check out the door where the scuttering is coming from. And try and perceive what might be inside.
You want to take a perception check on the opposite side of the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, 21.
It's a little bit hard to tell, but it gives you the heebie-jeebies. You can, like, feel your skin kind of crawl and the hair stand on edge at the sound of the chittering. Some strange, ancient life form dwelling deep.
Huh. Getting a very unpleasant feeling from whatever's beyond this door.
Oh, the creepy crowd is here.
Yes, it feels as if spiders are crawling across my skin right now.
Crawling across your ears.
That doesn't help very much. I think that's my turn.
Okay. Soren?
I'm gonna move back over here to be want to open the door? Or explore more and come back?
We don't want it shambling out and getting us at our back. We should take care of it early.
I agree.
Alright, then I'll count of 3, and I'll wave out the dancing lights, and I'll summon a mage hand. So a shadowy hand comes up from the floor and then opens the door. Assuming it's not locked.
It's not locked. Did that reveal the area?
Yes, it did.
Okay, good deal. The chattering sound is far louder here than it is in the kitchen. You can almost feel the rustling of the noise between your clothes and your flesh. A pillar stands in the center of the room. A roughly 2-foot door with a handle sits closed at chest level.
Two-foot door sits closed at chest level. Is this for the gnomes? What is this?
So it's about a 2-foot by 2-foot door with there's a handle on it, and it is at about the average person's chest level.
Mm-hmm.
So a gnome would have a hard time accessing it.
All right.
So like a pass-through kind of a thing?
Roll a history check to see if you've seen one of these things before. It's entirely possible that people go their entire lives without seeing something like this.
I might have, because I am not from the surface world. 9.
It seems to be some kind of mechanical contraption. There's a handle attached to a chain that sinks into the stonework, aside from the door handle. It hangs from the stonework a little bit higher up. It seems like it might be pulled down in order to make something happen.
Like a dumbwaiter?
Absolutely.
I have heard tales of unintelligent fake staff that move between the floors.
Some sort of whirly doodah. Makes a whole lot of noise and not all of it good. Like a drunken guard. Does it take us to another level?
You don't think that any of you could fit in. You'd have to be at least a size small, or at most a size small, I should say.
It's more for carrying objects, not individuals.
Indeed.
Oh. So above us would be a dining room.
I'll go up, I'll peek in. I'll peek up and I'll peek down.
Peek up and peek down what?
I'm just gonna look up and down the shaft to see if...
There's a door that's closed, and the chittering sound is significantly louder, just to paint the right picture for you. You're quite sure that whatever's making the sound is behind that door.
Oh, okay. Well then, nope.
Yeah, I didn't want it. Yeah, I didn't want to just totally screw you like that.
I thought maybe it was still operating, and that's what the chittering was.
No, it sounds like an ancient creature that has lived for longer than any of your species ever has.
And a dumbwaiter.
Alright, well, if you want me to open it, I'll do it. mage hand.
All right, let's roll initiative, guys.
Ooh.
20.
Nice.
I got 7 total.
7 total. All right, so chittering outwards in a icky, gross, and horrifying manner are 2 large, well, they're not large, but I mean, like, relatively speaking, if you see a large mass of, if you see any tangled mass of centipedes, you're probably going to think that that's kind of large. Larger than any mass of centipedes has any right to be. I'm just stalling until I get the monster manual page pulled up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so, the bard goes first.
Oh, this is disgusting. Sure, sure. And I run up to the door, point angry fingers at them, and blow their eardrums out.
Constitution.
With thunder waves. They need to make constitution saves.
One of them, I'm making them a disadvantage because they're in an enclosed space, and that seems like it makes sense to me. So one of them gets a 14. Yeah, they don't have any modifier to their constitution, and the other one gets an 8.
Alright. 14 succeeds, taking half, 5 thunder damage. 8 fails, taking 11 and getting blasted back 10 feet.
Skitters and tons of pieces of insectoid flesh scatter into the wind as the insects blast into the wall. This one does not get pushed, but it does sustain some damage, and you see some legs and sectoids going here and there.
Oh, goodness, goodness. Baratheon, those boots were made for walking. So please crush these. Sons of do's. And I inspire you.
Wonderful. Unfortunately, they got a 19 on their initiative, so they go next. So the one that took the brunt of the damage is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, and then start skittering up the wall. This one's going to go 5, 10, 15, and then it's going to go underneath the broken table, and it's going to hit Baratheon as it does so. So that is going to be an attack roll targeting the paladin. That is going to be a total of 11. I know that does not hit you, so we're going to move right along to Baratheon's turn.
Surprised that a feline creature wouldn't take more enjoyment in catching the bug.
That's racist.
Solitary bugs.
Fear not, I will save you. Can I reach the one under the table with my sword?
Yeah, it's only got cover from ranged attacks.
I'm going to awkwardly swing under the table at least. And that is a 21 total.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
13 damage.
Nice.
Is it still alive?
No. No, you just between you and the bard gangbanging it, it is destroyed.
I imagine I also take a few stomps at it with my steely boot.
Yep, it is a bunch of squished what color is insect innards? Isn't it like yellow and gross green stuff all over caked under the bottom and sides of your boot?
I'm gonna wipe my shoes off on this dilapidated rug. And I think that's the end of my turn.
Alright, Soren.
I'm going to reach out for my mage hand, and you see the shadow turn into a skeletal claw, and it's going to start swatting at the swarm on the wall.
Get it, dude.
A 16 on the die.
Yes.
7 necrotic.
Oh, it's wrong thing. I hope that didn't fuck with anything. It's barely alive. It is skittering on its last legs. Okay. Is that your turn?
Because I can, I'm gonna bonus action. No, I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm done.
Okay, sticks and stones. Take us home.
Oh, you are disgusting. I want to break off every single one of your legs and then throw them about like confetti. And I'm viciously mocked.
They got an 11.
They will take one psychic damage.
Your psychic damage is enough to pull apart the last pieces of the creatures, I should say, and they disintegrate with an insectoid shriek that leaves the last little bit of hairs standing up on your neck.
I instinctively run over and then jump at it and swat it.
You are quite certain it is dead now that you have caked insect ichor on your hand.
Oh, oh! I sniff it. Oh,
It smells awful.
I know better than to licking it.
My father says I am trash can boy, but I am not that much of a trash can.
Perhaps you were a raccoon in another life.
I most certainly was. I have dreams of it.
Your foe is smashed.
Alrighty then. Well, let's see if there's anything else in this compartment. I'll look into the door that we just opened.
So looking down the shaft, you can see that there is no... Oh, well, I should say it the other way. Looking up the shaft, you can see that there is no higher tier. It seems to go only down and below. And you can see a couple of smashed like pieces of wood lying in the bottom of the shaft itself. It doesn't go down all the way to the floor, so you can't really get a good look of what's down below. But the air feels cool, a little bit chilly.
Ordered this thing up. Too sweet. I do not know why. What do you make of it?
Could just be old. I do know it connects to another room in the house, so...
Mm-hmm. These things are rare, you say? This person was
Well,
very wealthy.
Yeah, I would say it's more in a household of wealth. Oh, that is not a staircase. Okay.
This is a staircase.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Who would
I did see-
abandon? Oh. What do you got?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I believe I passed the staircase earlier, but we should probably finish checking this floor for any more screechy, crawly, creepy crawlers.
Or any more clues? Who would abandon this place? Why? Why would
Maybe
no
the
one
kids killed
abandon?
What was that, Soren?
So maybe the kids killed their parents, according to that curio we saw earlier.
Hmm. If the children killed their parents, they would be deemed... They would be deemed criminals. Their inheritance would be forfeit. But it seems that someone retains the rights to this home. Otherwise, these Gold District money grabbers would repossess it. A house like this just doesn't sit in decay for no reason.
Not when money can be made.
Perhaps it's haunted.
Mm. It certainly is covered in crawlies. Well, that only haunts me. Regardless, let us continue. See if there's anything else we can find out.
All right. We can just keep the same initiative from last time if we want.
Go for it.
Okay. Baratheon, I think that makes you first. Or Sticks and Stones, actually, technically the last person that went was Soren, who used his mage hand to open the door, so I guess that does technically mean that it is Sticks and Stones' turn.
I do seem to be the one taking initiative, so I'll go up and check this door.
I think you're the one least afraid of talking on camera, Cece.
Yeah.
He's also the bard.
Also
I am the bar. What a mess.
A broken table sits square in the center of the room. The participants of one final meal sit where they ate their last. Shattered glass and dark red stains on the table surround what was once certainly this family's inheritable sword. And I'll point that out right here. It is right here. Boop.
Oh, look.
You might have to zoom in to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Holy. Smashed beats.
Alright, this is where my real world job kicks into play. Do the bodies look like they're seated at the table, or that somebody did them in?
This one lies exactly where it was slain, and you can see that its neck is like sliced in such a way that it's almost completely severed. And then this body and this body, both of the bodies don't look like they have anything showing their sign of death, but they are slumped over on outside of their seats. Their seats were here, and they're here. Here and here. This one is still in its seat.
Okay, so there's 4 bodies total.
3.
3 bodies.
Yeah, sorry. So this was the seat. This was a seat. This was a seat. This is a body. This is a body. And this is a body in a seat.
Okay. Can we determine gender and age of the bodies?
Ooh, give me an medicine check. Oh, actually, I believe we're skipping over Baratheon, aren't we?
Sorry.
It's alright. Actually, I don't even think we finished Sticks and Stone's turn yet. I'm sorry. I'm ADHD.
Oh.
I'm really bad about that. I'm sorry. You didn't take an action yet, buddy.
Well, I will run my intuition on this and see if I can make out the age of the skeletons.
Okay.
Oh no, I can't. I just sort of look at it longingly.
Elf
6.
bodies all look the same to you. Elf skeletons all look the same to you.
I mean, it's definitely different proportions.
Allow me to take a gander, my friend. Being a paladin, I have a small amount of medical knowledge. That's a 15.
So you can tell that the one in the chair seems to be a bit older. It's a male to your best estimation. The one on either side of them look to be a good deal younger. The genders in question is a boy and a girl. The one in the chair is a male.
As you can see, the skeleton has boobs and the others don't, so this one's female.
That's how that works.
according to Disney, stuff like that, yeah.
I was voting yes, but
What's up, Soren? It's your turn.
oh, so in real life, I work in the crime lab.
Oh shit.
So,
That's cool.
so we said this was a male.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mother is actually the doppelganger.
What a...
Because if that's Daddy, I want to go in. I'm afraid to touch the sword, though. But I want to investigate and see if there are any other important clues as to what might have happened. I'm looking to see if oh right, we said we didn't know, couldn't tell what the cause of death was. I just want to investigate the room, looking for other like murder clues.
There are red stains in the wood surrounding the sword blade.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably killed with the sword.
Yeah. To your best estimation, the lack of evidence regarding the type of death for the smaller bodies would indicate strangulation.
Great. Can I, because I don't have detect magic, but would I be able to make an arcana check to see if there's some sort of magical influence in the room?
Yes.
14?
You can see that there is a small rune carved, an elven rune carved into the hilt of the blade itself. Without touching the sword, you can just by looking at it, the way that it's designed and the way that it's shaped, it's made to cut and be very easy to wield. Like just an extension, it's supposed to be very lightweight. But the rune itself, there's a slight burn, like behind it, of like this kind of purplish bluish energy that is just barely there. You're really only there able to tell because you can like kind of like do that sorcerer thing where you close your eyes and you project your consciousness out a little bit, and you can feel this energy like kind of just nudging against your arcane pressure when you project it out into the whole scope of the room.
Okay, I'll look to the others and I'll say there's something about the sword that's not quite mundane, but it's beyond me to fully identify what's going on with it.
I see, my friend. Your mind is sharp. I
Just
do
like
hope
the
it.
blade.
Do hope it takes to our enemy's neck as well. And I am going to bardically inspire you. Because Lord knows we need every benefit, don't we, sticks and stones? And I give myself a talk and remind myself I'm the hero of the Blackwood and get half my bardic inspiration back.
Hey. That's why I gave you all that stuff. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Baratheon.
See here. What is down this area over here? Or is that just a wall?
Another door. Yeah.
Okay, let's find out what's behind door number 3.
Where are This hall once echoed with laughter and music. Now the still silence is all that greets you, and the sound of rickety windows swinging on their hinges.
What are the plants to the side?
Just an overgrown vine that doesn't seem to need too much water.
Okay. Well, since perception is one of my skills, let's go ahead and get that out of the way. That's a 12.
The harp might have had value once, but the wood is now rotten, and all of its silvered strings are corroded to the degree that touching them turns to dust. The piano appears to be completely destroyed. Great rents have been torn in the wooden frame, and you can tell that there is a fire poker sticking out of the middle. The culprit.
Okay.
Soren. Sorry, do you have a bonus action?
No, I was just gonna say, I think that's the end of my turn.
Okay.
I'm gonna move to here. I'm gonna say, hey Baratheon, I know you're relying on just a mundane sword, but this one here could have magic properties and it could be a freebie for you.
Are you trying to goad me into picking up a possibly cursed sword? I mean, I will if you want me to. I am pretty tanky, so maybe I can handle any potential bad outcomes.
I'm just saying we might not want to look gift things in the mouth. Of course, maybe this is just the stories I heard growing up as a young half-elf. I'm here to start blasting away at any zombies that might come up if you pull it out.
Alright. I will cautiously go over and pick up the sword.
I'm readying chill touch if any of the bodies move.
Okay. Do you want to ready anything, either sticks and stones?
Well, my instinct says ready a vicious mockery for when this all goes wrong. It's just a question of, do I aim it at the enemy, or do I aim it at the guy who thought this is a good idea?
Which would hopefully be Soren.
I'm ready a vicious mockery if I see any skeletons arising.
You put your hand around the sword?
You know the old saying, thou'st only liveth once.
Let's go ahead and roll initiative, guys.
Seven.
Oh, no. Natural 1 for a 3.
I got 6 total, so we all had not great rolls.
The music is fighting me. I don't know why it's not playing. Let me... Oh, okay, there we go.
Failed your performance check.
Hey, that's okay, guys, because the 3 skeletons that rise when you pry the sword from its place, they rolled a 3 as well.
Wow.
Their total is a 5, so I don't think that's much better, but... Okay, so it looks like CC goes first.
Well,
Is that right?
For ready actions?
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I was the music started messing with me and it fucked with me. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I did. Oh, you go first.
Oh. I'm gonna go for the dad. 18 on the die for...
Yes, definitely.
24 total.
Definitely.
2 damage, and since it's undead, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against me until the end of my next turn.
Okay.
gain hit points.
And he can't regain hit points. All right.
All right. Yeah, I will just cup my hand over my mouth as I giggle and say, "Oh, you are so campy, you goddamn skeleton bastard." And I'm insulting the dad for being dad.
Wisdom saving throw, right?
Wisdom saving throw. I don't know why I rolled it tonight.
Okay, I was making sure. They got a 4.
They fail. Dad's gonna have disadvantage on his next attack roll and take 1 psychic damage.
Excellent. Yeah, it does so. All right. And then Baratheon, you got a total of 4, and Soren, you got a total of 3. So the skeletons go before y'all. They got a 5.
I have a 7.
I got a 6.
Thank you. Again, we just... Oh, you got a 6. Why didn't it add the... Oh, you didn't add the +2 to it, Natalie. Then how am I supposed to know
I
that?
told you I got a 6.
Okay, well, I'm not going to remember that if you don't put it on there. Yeah, make sure that you're adding your stuff on there so that I know. Okay, yes, thank you. You're right. Those were just ready to action. So then we go Cece first.
CC goes up and wants to very quickly evacuate this fella from his immediate vicinity. Thunderwave again. Pow! I'm going to hit him and the dad with my 15-foot cube.
The one right in front of you gets a 19. The dad gets a 6.
All right, dad fails, taking 11 damage and being knocked back 10 feet. Guy who succeeds going to take 5 thunder damage and hold the line.
All right. Excellent. I'm going to give this other one a dexterity saving throw against dodging dad. He passes, so he does not take damage, but dad is also along that wall. Okay, so then Baratheon got a 6, so then Baratheon goes next.
Presumably still holding the sword I picked up.
Yes, you are holding the sword now.
The cursed sword. Over 3.
Oof. The skeleton that you... What's up?
Just a no strength.
I don't know what
proficiency.
to add to it.
Why do you not know what to add to it? We went over this.
See, I just picked up this sword. Is it a long sword?
It's a long sword, yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's still only an 8 total.
Okay. You need to start adding everything on there so that we know what the total roll is, please.
I didn't know the sword had different stats than my regular one.
For all intents and purposes, it's a regular sword. It's just silvered.
Then that is all I can.
Yeah, CC just put into the chat how to do it in case you didn't know. Unfortunately, the skeleton that you swung at just got blasted, and you swung at where he was. Okay, that is going to take us to the skeletons now. The one that got blasted and knocked prone is going to use half of his movement to stand up. And he's got disadvantage on his attack roll targeting the barbarian. Or barbarian, the paladin, I'm sorry. That's a 2 and a 7, so either one of those would have missed.
Break yourself upon my body.
This other skeleton is going to rush at the sorcerer, so that gives an attack of opportunity to the paladin. Nice hit.
Okay. It's going to be 6 damage.
Okay.
And we're gonna go ahead and throw a divine smite on him.
Okay, so another 2d8 damage.
Actually, 3d8, because it increases by 1d8 if the target is undead or a fiend.
Oh shit, you're right. Oh shit. Disintegrated.
Mm-hmm.
I killed you with the same sword that you are by.
Yeah, you, as the skeleton begins to surge towards the sorcerer, you just sling this new sword out, and we see radiance flash down its blade. In a quick arc, you score through its bone structure, and it turns to ash before it even hits the ground.
Not today.
Alright, the one next to Sticks and Stones is going to attack and gets a 4. I am rolling like shit for attack rolls tonight, guys.
Oh, you naughty little thing.
And I believe that is Soren's turn.
I started to scream as the dead child came running at me, but it's dead. So don't use a spell yet. I'm gonna go for Chill Touch again on undead.
Alright.
18.
Yes, sir.
4 necrotic and can't heal and has disadvantage against me.
Excellent. Yeah, your skeletal claw reaches through the shadows and grabs and rips off its unused arm.
I was aiming for the other one.
Sticks and Stones, back to you.
Oh yeah. Well, I am going to coil out my whip, try and nab it at a joint, and rend a bone off of its structure.
Alright.
Yada yada yada. All that is an 8. I don't do it.
Unfortunate. You go for its knee, and it sees what you're doing, and it just does like a little skitter jump, looking super awkward with the body of a child, a skeletal child. That should be. Baratheon.
I'm going to slash the one. So close to a crit.
That's a hit.
And 11 damage.
That is enough to kill it. You slice... Well, I guess you wouldn't really slice its head off as much as your pommel probably just crunches through the faceplate of the skeleton before you, and the whole thing just gets like you just basically punched its head off, and it just collapses into dust of bone dust.
It seems this is my specialty, crushing bony men and children.
What?
What is going to have an entirely different connotation until you said in children. Skellington attacking Sticks and Stones. Jesus fucking Christ, that's a 6.
Yeah, I'm having a very awkward dance with this little creature.
Soren.
I feel like maybe I want to just scold it and not kill it.
Put him in timeout. It's Soren's turn.
Oh. I'm gonna go with the skeletal hand again and say, go back to sleep. And I fumbled.
Oof. Sticks and Stones.
You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna scold it. What would your mother say about you rising from the grave and attacking guests in your home? This is so beneath aristocracy.
It makes a 10 on its save, which is technically a 9 because it has a -1 to its wisdom. So it fails.
It takes the 4 damage, and it has disadvantage on its next attack roll.
It is kind of screwed, Baratheon. She's getting something out of the fridge real quick.
And then
She's back.
Sorry, I thought I had enough time to grab a quick snack, but that's okay. I will do that after my turn. Going to use my signature whacking attack.
Gonna give him the smack.
No, my luck has run out.
Oof. It does not hit, but it is going to make an attack with disadvantage now at Sticks and Stones. I finally get an 18 alongside a 1.
well, hey, at least you're getting some rolls.
Go ahead and finish it off, Soren. It's probably got one hit left.
I don't know. Apparently, Soren does not deal well with reanimated children. Oh, no, 17 on the die.
There you go.
He finally regains his composure for 6 necrotic.
That is just over enough to kill it. It collapses in a shroud of shadow as the hand reaches up, grabs the skull, and then twists in like a great vortex. All of the bones grind to dust.
Well, it didn't turn out too badly.
Goodness. Is the aristocracy insane in every country?
Yeah.
Why did I even have to ask?
Alright.
I'll let you rest in peace now.
Says, sorry.
I think it's Cece's turn, right? Baratheon picked up the sword and took us into combat. It goes Baratheon, Cece, Soren, right? Or is it Baratheon, Soren, Cece?
I believe I am next, yeah. Well then, little one, may justice be reborn from your tiny little body. And I will start on investigating in this direction.
You
We
see...
popped in.
Sorry, go ahead.
We popped in here, but we never did much in it.
Yeah, you see old and ancient, well not ancient, old and decrepit instrumentation. A lute and a violin sit here on the ground. You imagine that they have probably seen too much disrepair to be brought back into any use. It truly breaks your heart as a lover of the arts to see such what were once such fine instruments neglected and destroyed by time.
What's happened here? Why would someone abandon so much? And why would no one ever come to reclaim it? I kinda look at the stairs as I say that. But for the moment, this plant's got me curious. I wonder if there's anything interesting on it that can be foraged.
Give me a survival check.
I will. To the tune of 21.
This is a good berry bush.
Ooh. I will harvest some good berries.
You know that removing them from the vine means that they have a 24-hour life cycle on them, but it's a good berry.
That is true.
You can harvest 1d8.
Harvest 1d8. Well, why not?
I get 6 apparently.
Nice, you got 6 good berries out of that. You found 6 good berries that were ripe enough for harvest.
Mm-hmm. I'll pass them around to everyone.
Can
Thank
we
you.
take a sample of the plant and grow it home later?
You are the alchemist. You tell me.
I would like to try to prune it in such a way that I could plant it. Oh no, we'll do that when we leave. I'll make a note to
These things.
do that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it is Soren's turn now, right? Or is it Baratheon's turn? I'm really not sure. I'm bad.
Well, I was
Sound
trying to
good.
order. I mean, I know I'm at the top of the turn.
Okay.
I don't remember who was last.
Alright, then I think it is me.
Okay.
Since the only thing we haven't checked on this floor is this room, I'd like to go and peek in there.
So you can tell only from the hall. The only way to access the door is from the hall. And you can tell that like the ceiling above it has kind of collapsed. Through some spaces in some of the rubble, you can see that it's open to the floor above, just like the foyer is open to the floor above over here. Yeah, that's you can see a couple of dressers and some rubble and debris down at the bottom.
Okay. Well, do we want to go up or down? If we go up, then there's nothing that can ambush us from above. We went down instead.
Oh, up does give us the means of escaping through a window.
Let's check upstairs.
Okay, our heroes make their way upstairs. I didn't put your guys' tokens in here because I was entirely certain that the Tabaxi was going to use his climbing speed to climb up through the shaft. So I haven't put y'all on here yet. I'm very surprised that didn't happen. I was like, I know it's going to happen. I was like, I'm going to put a 25-foot shaft in here, and the Tabaxi's going to be like, oh, check this out, guys, I have a flying speed. Or not a flying speed, a climbing speed.
I was thinking it.
And then we would have split the party.
Yeah. All right, so we make our way upstairs, and Baratheon, I believe that you are first.
Being a tanky guy, a little cautious around this opening. Go around this way. So I'll just go ahead and investigate the area.
Okay.
Do my signature perception check.
All right. The smell of mold permeates everything in this house, and what was once the master bedroom is treated no differently. Faintly, around the corner of the doorway, you can see a soft yellow light peering around the broken woodwork. Further in, your elven eyes detect a soft glow of a candle, as if there's a few candles gathered around. Here, there is a candelabra next to some broken furniture. There is only one candle in it that is lit in the very center, and then on the opposite side of the room. You find the deed to the house when we move in next week. Nice. Nice. All right, so I will go ahead and go through. This is a large debris pile. The ceiling is open above it to the sky overhead. Here, broken furniture lies scattered around a coffee table. A silver candelabra with the family's crest sits atop the scarred and pitted frame of the table. A lone candle in the middle lit, the remaining wax only about half of a finger's length. So I'm just going to make sure that I reveal all this real quick. Okay.
So, there's freshly lit candles?
Not freshly lit, no. It looks like it's been burning for quite some time, to the degree that there's only about, like, maybe an inch or two left in here. Over here, it's a different story.
Suspicious.
Sticks and stones.
Alrighty then. You'll start poking around the fineries in this corner.
An old cradle slowly rocks back and forth right here. Entropy has shaken its unbalanced form. Or, excuse me, entropy has unbalanced its form, and it now slides perpetually in its arrhythmic motion. Three skulls, roughly the shape of the people that that assaulted you last night, or yesterday, excuse me, in the shrine, sit collected beneath a shroud. This is a water basin right here. This is a wardrobe full of moth-eaten clothing, and this is a vanity, the mirror tarnished.
A child, far younger than would fit the size of those skeletons down there. There may have been a third child in this family. One who's not accounted for. And these skulls, they look familiar, don't they? Don't know what to make of it.
I believe it is Soren's turn.
I'm getting the EBGBs, but I want to walk over here and I want to try to investigate what's on this table.
Okay, I have a passage to read, so let me get some water real quick. An elven skull lies on the table, 3 candles oozing wax atop its crown. On either side of it, 2 more, and an open journal. On its page, an entry with today's date. Finally, these past 2 decades have taught me that patience is no virtue. It is a vice, foul as the spoilt wine from which I've stupefied myself till the supply ran out. And like the wine, I'll have no more of patience. Tonight, I will remove the head of the beast that bastards what done this to me. Let fare that son of a bitch. I'll take everything he's got and leave him as food for the worms. He ruined my life's work. My children, dead at the hands of those itinerants. When I have his skin, they're next on the list. I'll send them screaming to hell where they belong. Have them keep it nice and hot for me till I get down there myself. The journal the journal entry is written entirely in a very hard to read script. It takes a good minute or two to look at it, and then you realize that it's written in such a way that it mirrors both the common itself, and then the same runic script that the note you guys recovered from last night is written in. In the margins of this page, you can see a list of names, including Soren, Sticks and Stones, and Baratheon. The journal has entries dating as far back as 2 decades. Some are only a word and a date, and there are some periods of time as long as months without any entry. On every page, however, dating as far back as the very first list, there is a list of names on the pages. Undulating in size throughout the scope of time, a name would enter for a period only to be scratched off and never written again. On every last page, in every last margin, there are only 2 names which repeat: Mercedes Lettefair and Aria of Evelight. A faint arcane property can be felt from it. That's it. Sorry, that was the last thing.
Does it have the author's name?
It does not. Whenever there's like a place to sign, it's just a dash. Like as if a name was purposefully like chosen not to be put on here.
So we're on a hit list. Whoever wrote this blames us for killing their children, which we kind of did. But there were 4 of the doppelgangers and only 3 skulls. So that's a little curious. And yeah, they blame Lettefair and Aria for their predicament, and us as extensions for killing their children.
Well then, our friend is here after all. And he seems to not like us. So I'm starting to suspect we're not taking sides if we kill him.
And I wonder, since we found the father downstairs, I think it's the mother we're dealing with, so that could be more dangerous if animals are to be good models for defending their children. I feel like the book is important, so I'm going to mage hand grab it and carry it behind me wherever I go.
Okay, so the mage hand picks it up, and as it goes to switch it around and follow you like your shadow, you can hear the sound of a clink, psh, something falling out of it and hitting the ground.
Can I see what the thing is?
You peer around to see that it is barely clinging onto a piece of wood right here, and it is a key ring with a few keys on it.
Yeah, let's just take...
I'll drop the book and use mage hand to pick up the key ring.
The book falls flat, and you can see where it falls open. There's like an indentation carved out for like a circle for the key ring to fit inside of. But that happened ever so briefly as a astronomical number of pages flutter by, far more than should be able to feasibly fit inside this book. And then it clatters to the ground.
And the pages are just everywhere, or are they...
No, they're still in the
like,
book. You just saw that like there's way more pages in the book than should be able to fit in it as the book was falling.
Well, I want to pick up the key ring before it falls a story below us.
Okay, you grab the key ring.
And then I'll pick up the book as well.
You can taste ozone in the back of your throat when you do so.
Don't like it. But I'm gonna hang on to it because it's evidence. I think that covers all the stuff I can do in a round.
Okay. That takes us to. I almost called you Barnificent. I don't know why. Baratheon.
I almost like that name better, actually. That is funny, but no, Baratheon. I'm not quite sure what to do. There's no doors up here.
Just the one that you came through. The master bedroom is a bit more of a suite.
Not sure if there's much else to investigate in here. At least that in my capacity.
I mean, there's over here we haven't really looked at.
That's true. I guess I can go check that out. Not in the hole over here.
As you cross over, or rather, as you cross across the gaping hole in the floor, and begin to sift your way through the books, something down at the bottom of the hole catches your eye. A glint beneath the boards of the fractured furniture.
How deep is this hole?
It's about 25 feet down.
Is that the room? Did I open the door and...
You couldn't
go
open the
in?
door. You couldn't open the door. You could only look in.
Okay.
Well, I'm not able to do anything about getting down there. I do have rope, but I think there's probably more athletic people in the party that can handle that. So I will just continue to investigate the book area.
Okay. There is nothing of value or use in the ruined book shelf, unfortunately.
Then I look down the hole and I use my divine sense.
There is nothing around you that is a fey, fiend, or undead.
Well, sticks and stones, the area down there looks pretty clear.
Yes, and I saw something glint. I'll saddle my way down to find it.
The door frame has collapsed upon itself, the ceiling above it adding detritus and clogging the doorway in such a manner that prevents access. You scramble down using your deft cat paws and begin searching through the area that Baratheon told you, revealing a silver platter with the family's crest upon it. You imagine that such a thing might be sold for 50 gold pieces, seeing that it is set in with small garnets and opals.
Isn't this just shiny? And they're not using it anymore.
I don't think they're really using much of anything anymore.
I scuttle back on up with it in tow.
Treasure in tow, you harmlessly, or not harmlessly, you easily make your way back up the pit. Soren?
Well, that's... Oh, is there anything in the vanity?
There was no.
Okay.
It was just a mirror and then like a hairbrush.
Alright, I think we've pretty much covered everything. All that's left is that staircase downstairs.
Okay. So do we see our heroes make their way downstairs?
I think so.
All right. All right, this would probably be our best place to take our final break for the evening. It's entirely possible that we don't finish this tonight, and if we don't, that's totally fine. We can finish it next week. But y'all good with taking a break and then going for maybe another hour or so?
Yeah.
I know CC works, so I want to check with him too.
I suspect I have like maybe 30 minutes left for me.
Maybe 30 minutes left? Okay, then then you know what? I really don't want to get into anything without us being able to resolve it, so that's probably going to be the best point for us to call it is now then, because I don't like getting in the middle of things, because then I'll forget where we were.
Yeah, I get you. I know exactly what that's.
All right. So,
That's fun.
So-
Good with that.
cool. Jonathan, you good with that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody very much for tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed the stream so far. I hope you have enjoyed the episode. We will be probably wrapping this up, wrapping this campaign up maybe next week. And then if we want to keep playing with these characters, then we'll see if we want to do that. We might be doing something a little bit different, but you know, we're all gonna talk about it probably off stream so that there is no commitment or expectation that anybody has on us. But yeah, does anybody have any shout outs? Anybody they want to say what's up to before we shut it off?
Well, I guess I'll just reiterate what I was talking about earlier. I am out and about on the wavelengths talking to people like Double DM and Gamer Mom Luna. So you should check out their latest episodes to hear me banter my mouth for extended periods of time.
You definitely should. I could listen to you banter for hours, Cece.
Hell yeah.
Jonathan?
No.
All right.
I've got nothing.
All right. Well, I want to say a huge shout out to all the people that have been so wonderful and supportive in the TTRPG community over the past few weeks of me kind of trying to break in and actually contribute some of my creativity to the Zeitgeist. I tweeted about getting to 200 followers yesterday, and you guys got me to 350 or 300 something, maybe not 350, 300 something today. So that's fucking crazy. You guys are awesome. I love y'all. Thank you so much to everybody. I am super looking forward to next week, but yeah, stick around. I might do a little bit of Dark Souls after this. I'm not sure. I'll see how I feel, but thanks, guys.
You're welcome. See you next
My
week.
pleasure. Later days.
Bye.
Thanks.